I feel like sharing a little something with y'all. The past 5 years, I've been going through it. I've been going through it. I don't know why, but the past 5 years, I have been going through it. And if you know me, you know what I'm talking about. And all the different aspects of that, I've just been kind of wrecked and ruined financially and physically, and all the wrecks and like just life carnage. Life carnage. I don't know how else to describe it. It's been something, every year has been a new disaster. It's like the year gets kicked off with some new disaster every year for 5 years now. And in some levels, I feel like I deserve it because I've done a lot of bad things in my life. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and act like I'm better than everybody else by saying that I haven't. I've done a lot of bad things. There's been times I've been a bad person. Sometimes I'm still a bad person. Just I lose control and I act in a way that's not what good people do, right? And I really had, maybe the past year or so, really had a mirror held up to me. Not in a loving way, in a very spiteful, hateful way, but the point got across, and it's what I needed. Somebody recently asked me, I was on a date, some random, and he asked me, what was the turning point in your life? For the same age, and he said, XYZ happened to be the turning point in my life. What was the turning point in your life? And I had to think about it for a minute, and I really came to the conclusion that the turning point, what changed it for me and what made me realize I had to change something, was somebody holding a mirror up to me, even if it wasn't in love, even if it was to hurt me, even if it was in spite. I had to see the worst in me. I had to have somebody hold that up to me and be like, this is the worst of you. This is the problems. This is what's going on. You got to fix it. Maybe they're judging me. Maybe they thought they were better than me. But regardless, on some level, it was the truth. And that's what it took. That's what it took for me to start fixing it. That's what it took for me to start addressing it, because before then I was just completely not naive to it. I was just blocking it out, like, oh, why does all these things happen to me? Why is my life like this? And some things I really still struggle to understand why things happen the way they do, right? I still struggle to understand, but some things were consequences of bad choices and a bad lifestyle, and being so hurt and full of trauma and PTSD by my past and things that have happened to me that I literally just didn't care. I did whatever I wanted, and I didn't care the consequences. I didn't care what happened to me. I didn't care if I didn't make it through some of the things I was doing, because I just hurt so deeply, and I was just so empty and so sad and just hurting so bad that I was just like, I don't care. I don't care. I literally don't care. There was a time, I remember a time when I did. I passed out in the bathtub full of water, like a garden tub full of water at one of my old rentals. One night I had been out partying for 2 nights straight, with some really bad people that I used to run with, and I remember waking up and thinking I could have drowned. I could have died, and I don't even care. When I turned 30 years old, I remember thinking, it was during COVID by myself, and I remember thinking, I don't care if I see another year. I don't care. And really, the 5 years after that have just been a horrible dumpster fire, right? But I had to have someone intercede in my life, and maybe they didn't do it out of love. Maybe they did it because, they just really were judging me and thought they were better than me. But that's what it took. The water in my face, the slap in my, on my cheeks, whatever you want to call it, the wake-up call, whatever you want to call it. I had to have someone come and be like, hey, look, these are the problems in your life. You're not getting better. Fix your problems, before you can be good for anybody else. And at this point, it's not even about being good for anybody else. I want to help people. I'm going to lead with empathy. I want to be a good person, but I'm not necessarily even worried about having a team anymore. But I am concerned. I have concerned myself with fixing the problems now. And sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes it takes someone giving you that, hard slap in the face to get there, Sometimes you got to hear the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts, honestly, is what you need to change it. And that's really what I told someone recently. That's really what it took for me. They said, what did it take for you to start wanting to change your life? It was somebody just giving me a hard reality check. Got to fix it.